Shalom and welcome to my weekly video message. Dr. Seuss has a great line. You'll never be bored when you try something new. There's really no limit to what you could do. The story of Eliezer, the devoted servant of our forefather Abraham, related in this week's Torah portion, take these words to a whole new level. After the passing of our matriarch Sarah, we read that Abraham sends Eliezer on an unusual mission. One of the most significant missions in Jewish history. He sends him to the land of Haran to find a wife for his son Isaac and initiate the first formal Jewish marriage. Miraculously, the first person Eliezer meets is Rebekah, the daughter of Abraham's nephew, who shows him tremendous kindness, showing that she is just the girl he was looking for. And before the end of the day, Rebekah returns with Eliezer to the land of Canaan, where they encounter Isaac praying in the field, at which time Isaac and Rebekah marry and live happily ever after. But Eliezer's mission is significant not only because it was the first marriage mentioned in the Torah and led to the birth and existence of the Jewish people, but the marriage of Isaac and Rebekah represents something deeper. It represents the relationship between our body and soul, and it represents the ultimate marriage between us, the Jewish people, and the Almighty, which was first introduced at Mount Sinai with the giving of the Torah, and will once again be experienced very soon with the coming of Mashiach. Both the relationship between the body and soul and the relationship between us and God can be experienced through the performance of mitzvot, the study of Torah. And like with any relationship, at times it is met with challenge, but ultimately, with a little effort, we are assured success that is beyond our imagination. In fact, the key to this kind of success is expressed in this very story, with the response Abraham gave Eliezer when he asked, "What will happen if I find the girl, but she isn't willing to come back with me?" Abraham says, "The Lord God of the heavens, Hu yishlach malacho lefanecha. He will send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there." Don't worry, Abraham says. You'll never fail when you put God before you. When you put your trust in God, there's really no limit to what you can do. I have fond memories of two elderly Hasidim, Rabbi Reichik of blessed memory, the Rebbe's emissary to California, and Reb Mendel Futefas of blessed memory, the mentor at the Central Yeshiva in Kfar Chabad, Israel. Both were devoted followers of the Rebbe, and though they came from different backgrounds, Rabbi Reichik from Poland and Reb Mendel from Russia, over the years they became inseparable friends. The two of them would often travel around the United States, Rabbi Reichik in his black fedora and Reb Mendel in his old Russian cap, collecting money for the yeshiva in Kfar Chabad. And when they did, people would often stop their cars to look at them. It was truly an amazing sight. The impact they had on people was incredible. During their travels, they would talk to people about Judaism, encouraging them and their families to connect with their heritage, study Torah and observe mitzvot. But more than their words, people, myself included, were simply awe-inspired by their very presence. Once at the end of a long day, they visited a wealthy man and were told by his secretary that he was very busy and had asked that they wait some 20 minutes to see him. Apparently it had been a long day for these two elderly men, and they both fell asleep from exhaustion. Finally, when the man came out to meet them, he was visibly moved by this unusual scene of two elderly Hasidim from a different era, and not wanting to wake them up, he wrote a check of $5,000 and left it with the secretary, who gave it to them when they woke up. Seeing the unexpected large sum, Reb Mendel turned to his friend Rabbi Reichik and said, "Where can we find another place to go to sleep?" I love this story because it reminds us that while we always have to make an effort to find success, we must realize that the blessings ultimately come from above. And like with Eliezer, the devoted servant of our forefather Abraham, when we show our devotion to God, God will allow us to easily find success. This weekend is the weekend that I usually enjoy my annual Friday lunch on Kingston Avenue with my brother from England. It is the weekend that I take pleasure in the Shabbat prayers in the Rebbe's Synagogue at 770 Eastern Parkway. And it's when I love taking part in the class photo with more than 3,000 men wearing black fedoras, followed by dinner on Sunday with thousands of the devoted servants of our Rebbe from around the globe, who dedicate their lives to inspire the marriage and bond between body and soul, and make every effort to bring about the ultimate union of God and the Jewish people. This weekend is the one weekend besides our family summer vacation that I take off to join my colleagues, the Rebbe's thousands of soldiers, to refuel and refresh our souls so that we can continue to carry out the mission of making this world a dwelling place for God and inspire our communities and all those we encounter to join us in doing the same. But this year I am home, and as I reflect on the mission of Eliezer, I will reflect on my mission, and I will remember that we'll never be bored when we try something new. There's really no limit to what we can do. Shabbat Shalom.